Alright, Geordie Prepper here, and day 8 of Check Your Preps month for October 2017. So today I checked me gas masks. I've only got 2 gas masks, GSR and Russian GP5. The bag that you see in front of there is the GP5 bag. So the GSR, I just checked the bag, I checked the things I've got in there, extra filters, just made sure that the packaging was airtight, hadn't been compromised, and everything to do with the mask itself. Similar routine to the GP5 here, so I'll just talk what I did with the GP5, and then it's basically just similar sort of thing for the other GSR mask. So the bag itself was fine, intact, it's only holding the mask. You're not lugging around a bag of bricks, but surprisingly, you wouldn't think looking at it, but the bag is actually quite tough, and the straps of good quality. So the mask itself, I just check that the rubber's pliable, it's not dry and brittle. I just make sure that around all of the edges, everything's intact. The eyepieces, I just make sure that the glass is intact. The area around the lenses, there's nothing that's came away, and that it's airtight, and that you can see out of the glass. There's nothing like the glass isn't cracked, or there's nothing of building up on the lens which could compromise your vision. So when you're breathing in a gas mask, sometimes obviously you get, the condensation from your breath will fog up the lens, but then obviously your breathing clears it. And there was some anti-fogging things in a little round sealed container that came with the GP5, but because it was so old, the anti-fogging chemical or whatever it is that they put on there on the 2 little plastic round discs, it was completely out of date, and it would basically turn brown. So they were useless. I've never actually used them with the mask, but I might put some sort of anti-fogging thing on there at a later date. But the checks I did with the mask was, check that with the filter off, that with it on my head, that the actual mask itself is airtight, because the mask doesn't work with the filter off. And then I put the filter on, and I check that I can breathe through the mask, and then I put my hand on the bottom of the filter, and I just make sure that it's airtight with the filter on. So this just makes sure that the filters correctly into the mask. However, it was brought to my attention through some comments on my gas mask videos that the thread on the Scott filters was like a NATO thread, and although it seems to go into the GP5 in an airtight way, the Russian thread on the GP5 is actually slightly different to the NATO thread. So it's only because, and that's what I like about prepping, is that the community has such a massive wealth of information and knowledge, and people were good enough to comment and see that there was a problem with my setup. So I've basically got 2 Scott PF filters, particle filters, so it doesn't really affect them. But it was brought to my attention that even though it seems airtight, because of the differences in the threads, gases could actually get past the thread. So I have 2 other Scott filters though, which they are designed to cut out chemicals and lots of other harmful things and gases, and so it will mostly affect them. But thanks to the community, I'm going to revisit the filters that I use on the masks. So I haven't invested a lot in the filters, so it's not really that big deal. But I'm really grateful for the information that was given to us, because this is my EDC mask. I take it with me when I'm at the property for over an hour, so I need to be like 100% confident that when I go to use this, emergency or not, that it's going to protect my breathing. Because if your breathing is compromised, then you're compromised, your whole body is compromised, and it does affect you short term, and if you're unlucky, long term. So be safe, be prepared, and check your preps. Alright, so you've seen the video, and this is basically just an invitation to the Prepper Discord server which I set up. you know, we can talk there. There's audio capabilities on the Discord, or, you know, if you don't want to, if you haven't got a headset or anything like that, or a microphone, then you can just chat in the channel. So head on over to Discord and join myself and other preppers there to discuss prepping and, you know, relevant topics.